by Alliance Bank, and Ricky Thompson, part of Alliance Bank, joins us now on 365 Sports. And the first two people we saw when we walked out of the post-game press conference on Saturday late night, one of them was JJ, the other one was also Ricky. Ricky, can you see from what you saw Saturday, can you see a team that's going to come back play with their hair on fire and try to somehow figure this thing out and turn things around in a week?
Well, Smokey, we better. I think that is something that probably surprised me as much as anything. I don't think we played like that Saturday night. I think we all know that. You can say anything you want to about competition, but when you're opening with somebody like Texas State, you think you're supposed to win, and sometimes that's a hard hurdle to get over with those kids when you got Utah coming in the next week. Now, one thing I saw is they are Texas State 12.5-point underdogs next week to UTSA. Now, to me, that says somebody's still not convinced that they're that good. I don't know about you guys, but it's like Craig said walking out, bigger, stronger, faster. Looked like in all regards they were that compared to us Saturday night. So I do think we'll come out with more fire. I think we may come out with a little different plan offensively and defensively too. We cannot end up with safeties on wide receivers in the slot and get beat all night long. I think Coach Aranda spoke to that, and I'm betting you don't see that Saturday. And then offensively, offensive line struggled. I think you may see this team come out slinging the ball with Sawyer Robertson right off the bat. And the other thing that does, Smokey, to what you spoke to, I think that creates some fire to hit some pass plays early. Running game's important, and you got to run the ball, but the passing game is what sets the team on fire. And I really think that's what you may see early this Saturday.
Don't you also really have to hit it early for a couple other reasons? One, he needs to be confident because he's going to be the starter for the next few weeks, at least. And two, don't you need to get Utah a little bit back on their heels? Because if they smell blood in the water, they are some tough sons of guns, Ricky, with Kyle Whittingham. And every game to them is a rock fight no matter who they're playing.
It is. And defensively, I thought Texas State really dominated us up front, and there's going to be no comparison to what you're going to see this Saturday. And I think you have to get them on your heels. And from what I saw, and things change, and I'm not out there every day like these coaches are, but from what I saw, we're not going to run a wide zone at them and run the ball down their throat. We're going to have to spread it. We're going to have to throw it. We're going to have to get them on their heels. We're going to have to take that just bull rush where you set a 3-point stance with your defensive tackles, and they're coming full speed at the snap of the ball with no fear of play action going over the top. So, yeah, I think you got to do that early. Slow down that pass rush, maybe throw a screen or two behind the rush, but you're going to have to do something to maintain Utah's front seven because they are really talented.
What did you think of what you saw from Sawyer Robertson, Ricky?
You know what? I was impressed. I thought he delivered the ball well. The throw to Hal Presley down the sideline, I thought Hal made a spectacular catch on it, but also thought it was a very, very good throw from Sawyer. So I really liked what I saw there. More than that, I saw later after he got a little more comfortable that he moved in the pocket, stepped to the side. It was to the left toward the Baylor bench and delivered the ball in the middle of the field downfield. I think it may have been to Drake Dabney. I don't remember, which I thought might have been his best throw, even better than the deep ball. I know early when the pass rush came at him, he just kind of folded and they took him down. But I think after that, when he got into the flow of the football game, I thought he handled the rush a lot better, made a good delivery. He had a great run, too, guys. He just fumbled the ball at the end of it. But it was, 31 yards? And at that point, it would have been a huge play. I thought he showed great agility, pretty good speed. I really liked what I saw there.
You mentioned that they're going to have to open it up. And isn't that there's two ways you can do this? You could even get more conservative, which to me would be dangerous, or you could just say, what the hell, right? Isn't that kind of what you're suggesting? Let's just wing it?
Well, an old receiver, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's open it up and throw it. And what does it hurt? I mean, I don't know how you really go wrong there. You've got a kid that can throw it. I thought you finally had receivers that were making plays. Bring it out Saturday and throw it about 5 of the first 6 plays. Go back to the Big 12 championship game. You've got Blake, who, by the way, guys, I thought played exceptionally well under really bad circumstance Saturday, just to his credit. But he came out and we completed 17 balls in a row, and I can promise you Oklahoma State wasn't ready for that, wasn't watching for it. So, I think you come out and sling it. I don't think it can hurt anything, and you don't have to hit many of those to make the difference in a ballgame.
What's the difference for Sawyer Robertson preparing this whole week, knowing that he's not having to look over and go, is Blake healthy? Is he coming back in? What's going on here? What are we changing on the fly? That he can go into this game knowing that, look, you keep things going to the other end zone, then you're going to be all right.
I think it makes it easier for him, to be honest. He knows he's the guy. I think these players already have a lot of respect for Sawyer. I think he's just the kind of kid that's a leader. I think he draws those kids to him just by his attitude, the way he carries himself. So I think the fact that he can really be vocal when you're the backup, I think sometimes you hold back intentionally because you're not the guy, and you don't want to feel like you're taken away from the presence of the guy that's the starter. He knows he's going to play. He knows he's going to start. That's not even an option. So I think with that, he's going to be more vocal this week. And the kid's got ability. He's a player. So I think that these guys will rally around him, and I don't think that will particularly be hurting at quarterback with all your back there.
So the defense, Ricky, a whole other side of issues and things to improve upon from last week. They could not get stops for a large stretch of that game. The only thing that really stopped Texas State's offense was a couple of fumbles. And, then they got, kind of a sporadic stop here and there, and late had a shot if they could have played a bit more complimentary football. But what did you make of Matthew Pallage's first outing? And, Dave Aranda said he's going to be involved because of the familiarity with Utah OC Andy Ludwig. But was there positive? How did you just kind of come away thinking about the defense on Saturday?
Well, you don't want to be critical particularly, but I just thought there were a lot of holes back there, guys. I thought secondary-wise, I don't think we played very well back there. Safeties have always been a strong part of our defense, and I didn't think that they were Saturday. I thought our front played okay. I didn't think we put a lot of pressure on their quarterback without bringing extra people with our front four, but I just thought, and again, too many times on critical downs where you've got that safety in the slot, and 2 or 3 times, I'm not out there every day, but I called it where they were going with the football. I mean, you could see it, and it was pretty successful. One of the last touchdowns they had was receiver in the slot on our safety. They sent the guy outside just on a little slant, took him out, and the inside guy really wasn't even out and up. He just went to the outside of the safety and then cut it upfield, and it was an easy touchdown on the scoreboard end. And you could see it coming before the snap. And I know if I could see it, Coach Pallage is seeing it, and that's going to change, I can tell you. But I liked our pressing outside. I thought that was good. I like getting in their face. But I think, too, we're still going to have to, on that 3rd and 5, either get pressure or put our guys in position where you don't have guys running free on 3rd down for easy catch and throws. And we saw a lot of that. Now, going back, we had a couple spots where we did have pressure, and we just couldn't bring that guy down. 6'7", 255, and he did a great job of escaping.
Ricky, Jonah Burton's a walk-on wide receiver, and I know Presley made catches, and there were others too, but I kind of – he's a small guy, he's a walk-on, but as a receiver, did you kind of appreciate what you saw when he was in the game, whether it was when the game was already in hand? He just made plays.
He did. It's funny. I just had a guy in my office, and we were talking about Jonah Burton, and I told him, I said, that kid will be playing Saturday. There's no way they don't play him. He made plays. He ran with it after he caught it. Every time it came to him, he made the catch. I was impressed with the way he ran routes. I think you've got to play him. It reminds you a little bit of back to the Leach days, a couple of pretty good slot receivers that Tech had that ended up playing the NFL. I don't care if he's walk-on or what he is. I think he's got to play, don't y'all?
Yeah, I think you do. I mean, he made plays, made catches, made plays after the catch, and he seemed to give him a little bit of a spark. There's no doubt in my mind.
And when he came to the sideline, sorry to interrupt you. When he came to the sideline, I watched those other kids, and they like him too. I mean, they were pulling for him and really getting fired up when he was making plays. And that's kind of something you got to get going if you're going to have a good football team, is all these guys supporting each other. And man, Saturday's a critical game. I think it's very important that even this early in the season that we play well and much better than last Saturday.
And come out with their hair on fire. I know this says it's easy, but how in the hell can you? And show something. And I know that there's not enough energy. There's not enough energy from Coach Aranda. There's not enough. Go make your own energy. Go make some plays and force a turnover, although you're playing a team that doesn't like to cough it up too much in the way they play.
How did you deal with that as a player, Ricky, if there was a lack of energy? I mean, how did that kind of get corrected? Was it just simply a guy making a play and then another guy making a play off that? How did you, as a player, kind of handle that when teams were maybe lacking some energy?
Yeah, I think, Craig, number one, it's hard to put that on a coach or any coach because they can't go out there and play. You can have a coach that yells and screams and tries to get players fired up and they go out and don't play, or you can have one that's quiet like Coach Aranda that I think these players really listen to, and you don't play hard. I think that it simply comes down to the guys on the field, and you've either got to play or you don't. And my opinion is the ones that aren't, you take them out and you put somebody else in, because football is not a game. Baseball is a little slower game, and you've got to play with a little bit of poise. Not that you don't have poise in football too, but it's a game of emotion, and you've got to play, and you've got to play hard. It's a physical game, and some of that, Craig, I don't think you can teach. You just got to have it, and that's why those are the guys that need to be on the football field, whether it's offense or defense.
Ricky, thank you as always. We appreciate you. Wednesdays in the 4 o'clock hour, former Baylor wide receiver, Baylor Sideline Radio Reporter, handles the halftime and also post-game interviews along with the rest of the crew. But we appreciate his time. He played